I understand it's been a busy day, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and pub's not open yet. We're going to try and make this a little bit more interesting and exciting. Customer experience, New Zealand Bloodstock. Who will be presenting along with me today? Babu from New Zealand Bloodstock. As he says, he has a telco background, multidisciplined in a number of things. He's on the CRM user group committee. He's a horse owner, and Steinlager coming up in an hour. That's me in the middle. I do go on a bit. So we have a run sheet here, so I'll make sure I don't run over at all. Okay. I've got lots of grey hair, not from this project, and Amstel light coming to me. And Steve Koppens will be doing, assisting with the presentation. He's an AX specialist. He's what I would call an innovative thinker. He does Ironman. He'll run a marathon one day and an Ironman the next day. And he drinks a beer that I've never even heard of. Okay, our agenda. We're going to be an intro from Babu, system overview, CRM and AX in the Bloodstock world. Okay. We're going to have an auction. That horse is going to be auctioned. You were all given an envelope, but we'll get to that shortly. Okay. The SDCA, which is a sales day counter application, which was built in AX. I'll talk a little bit about finance in the Bloodstock world, and Babu will come back and talk about working with mission-critical systems. So, I hand over to Babu.
Right, Ivor. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Ivor was introduced, I'm Babu. I'm a business analyst at New Zealand Bloodstock. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of who we are and what we do. At the end of the video, I'm sure you've seen we are the world leaders in the thoroughbred and bloodstock industry. We do leasing, finance, insurance, and air freight for horses. So it's all in a one-all package. A very good number that we've got last week. About 2 weeks ago, we freighted about close to last 3 months, we freighted about 360 horses to China. We had 2 planes side by side, and they all got loaded up, and we freighted them. And I think that was one of the biggest achievements that we've had. So we've been in the industry since 1927, and we've been all around. And as you can see through the video, we are pretty much the unique leaders in the bloodstock industry, and we wanted to be a real one-stop shop for everything for buying and selling these horses. The reason why we came up with this thing called It's Where Winning Begins, I think as we go through this whole presentation, we'll show you why and how the system basically works together hand in hand. Just a quick stats. One of our sales, we've got more than 1,000 horses that we sell, 6 days in a row, back to back. From morning till evening. It's one of the busiest time in our whole year, and that's probably in January and February. And one of the other things that is really pretty cool is as soon as a hammer drops, there's a lot of stuff that goes around behind the scenes, and it's just unbelievable in terms of the amount of data that flows through to various places and how we all interact with each other. Again, we produce one of the best top breeds, and we are we produce, the best racetracks legends, and we've got winners all around the world and all around New Zealand as well. Just a quick stats in terms of who are our winners. Far Lap, we've sold Far Lap in 1928. It's a very controversial horse, I know. I'll just go on to the end. So you're thinking we've got another good winner, Ocean Park, who's made us proud, and he's won more than 3 million New Zealand dollars. And just a quick number on the top, prize money, 66,738 pounds in 1928. And Ivor and myself did a quick research last night, and we've discovered that in today's money, it's close to 10 million pounds. So it's a pretty huge, we deal with huge money basically. So, and as you can see, Bone Crusher and Darcy Brahma is one of the great stallions now, and he's standing in Cambridge. Yeah, he's standing now in Cambridge, and we've got Mufasa, and so you think. So without further ado, I just want to show you all, and I was going to walk you through with Steve, how sophisticated we've got in this whole working place, and what kind of sophisticated systems do we need in terms to cater our business on a day-to-day basis. It's just all about complexity and understanding how it all comes together from insurance and how insurance relates to an air freight and how that transaction relates to when we're selling a horse throughout sales day. It was a huge project, I've got to say. As you can see, Ivor says he's got gray hair. You haven't seen my hair yet. I had white ones, but I had black. And it was a great pleasure working with these guys. Till today, we are still working with them in terms of enhancing the system, continuously bringing the great customer experience for our users in the system, in the company as well. And later on, I'll share some of the benefits on right after this demo. And I would like to introduce Ivor to take over the stage again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to use this thing because it's everybody's ears. So I'll give you a brief system overview. Okay? It's an auction system. It's a marketing system. And when we talk about a system, we're not talking now CRM or AX. We're saying the system, the wholesome. It's a marketing system. It's an event management system. When Bloodstock puts together a sale, they scale up their organization like a large military organization. Lots of new staff come in just to handle that sale. Drivers and valets and people to move horses backwards and forwards. I didn't know much about horses before I started this. It's a logistics system. You've got hundreds of stables, all the horses coming in during the day, then being sold and then shipped out in the right boxes. Okay. It's a finance system. Yeah. Important if you've just spent $1.7 million on a horse. Right? It's a customer management system. And the primary benefit realization is that to do all this, it should actually be easy to use. I've got a diagram to indicate. When we started this, started writing on a whiteboard, and here's some of the musings that we did. And as you can see, there are a lot of moving parts here. They everywhere. There's insurance, air freight, lot owners, lot. And essentially, what we're focusing on is the lot. The lot in the middle is the horse that is for sale. So there is ultimately a horse involved. Right? It's going to be insured, it's going to be air freight, it's going to be shipped around. We'll auction it shortly. What a lot lives through is from a moment that the horse is put up for sale, someone owns a horse, they need to sell it. It comes through to Bloodstock and then somebody buys it. But that somebody is not just sometimes one person. A syndicate could own the horse and multiple people could buy it. But it's still only one product. So we're going to take a closer look at the lot record, and the lot record is in Microsoft CRM. So I will call that screen up in a minute, but we have entry activities. So the lot has been entered into a sale. We capture that information. There's linking and checking activities. Is this horse the right horse? Is it the same horse? Is it the correct horse that's going up for sale? Okay. Then there's receiving activities. That horse arrives on site and gets placed in a stable. Then there's the auction activity itself. The horse is sold, and you can sell insurance and air freight and medical tests to make sure it's okay, pretty much like a warrant of fitness. Do some stuff to the horse. Right? Some financial activities so that the correct people walk away with the right invoices, and consigning activities. The horse leaves on the right box and goes to the right airport or farm. So the demo gods hopefully are not with us today. We'll have a look. And the problem is I don't have the right glasses on, so I can't see what's nothing to do with the system. It's got everything to do with me. That's what happens when you get grey hair. You can't see in 2 dimensions. So this is a CRM record, so I understand that this is not a large CRM audience, but here is a CRM record. And there is information about the horse. It might be a bit small for those at the back, because when I was sitting at the back earlier, I couldn't see, but that was the other glasses. But we have the sale that has been entered for, and here is all the details about the horse. Down the left-hand side, we have commissions and insurance and options and tests. So we accumulate a large amount of information about the horse that's actually going to be put up for sale. One of the objects on the left is lot owners. This is the person that owns the horse for sale. And I'll drill down this record. We have inspection address, so that where the horse can actually be inspected. Pedigree is very important in horses, and our auctioneer will cover that off. But it's important to know who the parents are, the sire and the dam of the horse. We even carry the brand of the horse. If we have the brand, and the horse has a brand on its rear quarters, the picture will actually show up inside CRM. And then what happens is when the sale moves through, the information updates onto this record and then ultimately moves through to AX. I'll just keep rolling down to the bottom. As you can see, there's a lot of information, being the operative word. So, in order to make this thing a little bit more interesting, we decided to put together a little auction. So, some random envelopes were given out. If you open your envelopes, it'll either have a bid amount that you're allowed to bid, or it'll be a piece of blank paper. Right. Okay, right. There are some rules. Okay, right. Okay. Right. Oh, I hear disappointment down there. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So you're entitled to bid up to the value of your... okay. Right. And I hear conniving going on over there as well. Right. So, right. Okay. So I will hand over to our auctioneer, Morgan, who will auction off the lot that we were looking at earlier. Was called
Dennis's Joy.
Dennis's Joy. Right. So we'll get a bit more information about Dennis's Joy. In the meantime, I will use a indication similar what is at the Bloodstock event. As the bids come through, a large board is placed up at the top. Automatically, the bids calculated into other currencies so that the bidders can see if they are bidding in foreign currencies.
Good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on through our afternoon to lot number 51 in the ring here. Babu, if you wouldn't mind leading her around. She's a broodmare by Schnitzel, ladies and gentlemen. He's, of course, retired to stud as a 7-time winner. 4 of those wins as a 2-year-old, ladies and gentlemen, namely taking out the Oakleaf Plate at Group 1 level. Here's the sire of this mare here today. She goes by the name of Dennis's Joy. She's a bay mare. She's a 2007 foal. And she is in turn from Thorina, a Chief's Crown mare who placed as a 2-year-old. She's a very well-related mare, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis's Joy, and of course she descends from one of the most famous families in the Australian stud book. She has done the absolute world of wonder in the racing industry, ladies and gentlemen, has Dennis's Joy. And they've named her quite well because she was bred by a man called Dennis, so they called her Dennis's Joy. She is in foal to Redwood, ladies and gentlemen. He is, of course, a son of Reduced Choice as well as Redwood. High Chaparral, might I point out, there is Redwood. And she is in foal to Redwood, this bay mare here. She's had a foal. He's now yearling by Guillotine. And we're going to get started away here at $10,000. So I got $10,000 in a way. I'll take the increments of 15,000 here. I get 15,000 away, 15,000. The money's up here. I'll see you 20,000 bid. I got 20 now, 25 bid here. I get 25,000, 25,000 away now, 25 now, 30 bid over. I got 30,000 here. I got 30 now, 255, 40,000, 40,000 bid over. I got 45 and away, 45,000 here. At 45 and away bid over. I got 45, 55, 60, 5, 70. 70,000 here. 72.5 he says 5. 75,000, 80. 80 he says. 80 bid a bid. 80,005 new blood. 85 now 7.5 out back. 87,500 here. I get 87.5, 92.5. 92.5. 92,005, 95. At 95,000. At 95,000. 100 he says. 100,000 here. 100,000 bid. 100,000, 110. 110 bid. I get 110, 12, 5, 15, 115, 115, 17.5, 117.5, 20, new blood, 25, 122.5. You're all out. I sell, bidding, 125. 125 in time. 125 bid over to 130, 130 bid over to 130,000 here. I get 130,000. He says no. Would you like one more? At 130,000 buys, I sell her. All done at 132.5. 132.5. 132.5 at 132,500. All done. I sell, bidding for 132.5. Well, this is where auctioneers get stuck in a bit of a rut, ladies and gentlemen, because I actually don't have a bidder at 132,500. So if anyone's got a card with a bit more money on them, I wouldn't mind if you had a bid. At 132.5, 132.5, 132,500 buys her, I sell her, all done for 100. Would somebody like to bid for 135,000? If you're 135, they got 135 bid because the successful buyer takes the horse home today. At 135 here, at 135,000, I sell. Did you give out the right money? Did you give them enough money?
You're going to have to roll back.
We're going to have to go back, ladies and gentlemen. He and my other bidder here have rolled back. We're back at 125. I've got at 125,000. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the vendor has met the market. I got 125,000 here. 125 now. Here he is. He's been here all the way with all that money, and he's finally decided to sprout up. I got 130. 130 bid. I got 130,000. Hammers up. I sell. She's been on the market all the way, bidding for 130,000. 25, new blood, 132.5, 132.5 here, 132.5. He doesn't have it, well, he's put his own numbers on there, I think, Ivor. 132.5. And we're back in that rut, ladies and gentlemen. 132.5, 132.5 I sell. We knock it down for 132,500. 132.5 down the front. Thank you, underbidders.
Obeying the rules is something that obviously this buyer doesn't know. Okay. What he doesn't know is he'll be signing a chit for 132. Okay. So what would happen at that point? That horse will be entered into the, a form will be given to the customer. So, would you like to please sign? Sure. Would you like insurance of that?
Absolutely.
Would you like us to air freight it anywhere?
Sure.
The process would work like that. The sale event will be updated. The lot number 51 will be entered into the system, and it's not presented, it's now sold for 132,500. Okay, what's your name, sir? We're going to send you an invoice. Okay. Okay, we better use someone else. Right. He wants insurance, so we'll send him the most expensive one, 18-month insurance. We'll do a blood test on that, and we process. So from a transactional point of view, that's all that's actually happening at that point. The information is being entered into the system and then saved. Transactionally, that will end up in AX. So I'd like to hand over to Steve, who will pick up the story from here.
Good afternoon, everybody. So at this point, as I've indicated, hopefully magic is working in the background and we come over to the sales day application screen. So one of the requirements from New Zealand Bloodstock was to present to their staff a one-stop or one easy place where they could access all the information required to process the sale. In order to do this, we created this particular form called the sales day application form, which, to the best of our ability, we followed the standard Dynamics AX design pattern by having header lines and further at top, more specific sales day information. So, if I type in the lot number and hit tab, we see that the information has miraculously come across. Now, this particular form is actually just a new interface to the free text invoice form. So if I take you to show you a free text invoice, you should see down here all of the same information presented in the standard Dynamics AX form. The reason we created this new form was because it minimizes the footprint on standard AX, thus minimizing future upgrade costs, and at the same time it ties into all of the standard financial features within AX, so we didn't need to recreate a whole bunch of tables and stuff that Microsoft had created for us. Now, the interesting complication behind this particular form is the types of integration. There are, at the top, you see information from the sale which has been retrieved in real time. So, for example, the sales status and the sales price. So it's required real time so that when the customer who's just purchased the horse walks up to the counter, they don't have to hang around for a minute or two while the system synchronizes in the background. Also, are fields such as the comment field, which is bi-directional. So any information that's entered into that will be sent back to CRM, and likewise in CRM, if it's entered, updated in CRM, it comes through into AX. And finally, as I've indicated, there's a whole bunch of insurance information. Now, the actual insurance policy that is chosen or selected by the buyer at time of auction needs to be updated real time. However, that buyer might have 10 or 15 different types of insurance policies available to them. All of that information is synchronized in the background prior to the event and is maintained, updated, so that as soon as they come to the counter, if they decide to change their mind, they are able to select and pick whichever policy is available to them. Now, the complexity behind this is that there was no one-size-fits-all solution. If we'd gone for a real-time synchronization solution, we would have been passing through a lot more information, which would have added additional complexity to the solution, and we could not rely on just the standard behind-the-scenes connector type synchronization solution because it wouldn't necessarily be in real time. So therein lay the complexity, and that's how we did the solution. So to further go on, we have to consign this particular horse. So we select who is going to be the company to transport this horse, and then we can book it on a flight, and we can send it off to Sydney. And then at this point, if the purchaser comes along and writes a check or hands over their credit cards, this is posted, which creates an invoice, and again, ties all back into standard Dynamics AX using all the financial routines that are available to it, and posts a free text invoice. So, back to you, Ivor.
Thanks, Steve. Didn't tell you everything. Okay. Right. Add buyer. We could add another buyer to this to add an extra level of complexity. Right. So it's not just one person that bought it, it's two people that bought it. but it's still only going to be sent on one aeroplane because it's still only one horse. But therefore, we end up with an extra invoice for that other buyer. Let me go back to my presentation. So we enter the sale. And Steve has covered that off. Just going to talk a little bit about the AX finance in the background, to just carry on from that. Multiple buyers and multiple sellers of the same horse at the same time. So the horse that's put up for sale might be owned by a syndicate. And in order to put a horse up for sale, one needs to pay an entry fee. That entry fee can be split up over a number of people. That horse might be on a current insurance policy, which will then lapse when the horse's ownership changes to somebody else. So there's a level of complexity from a financial point of view just up front of who owns the horse. It's not quite like the LTSA where every single horse is registered and it's got a number plate and moves around, but it's very similar because people can buy and sell the horses independently with a Bloodstock knowing. Farmer Brown buys a horse and then he sells it to his friend down the road. So the horse, according to Bloodstock, belongs to son down the front here, but it turns up at the sale next month with you looking after it. So there's an ownership. Okay. They also have part payments built into the system so that a person purchasing a large horse or insurance, specifically insurance, can end up offsetting that money over a number of months. However, if the horse dies, before you pay out insurance policy, you've got to recover all of the incoming premiums. It's a standard. Okay. There's individual insurance rates for each customer or for particular customers. So high-value customers might have different insurance rates to other customers. There's different rates on the sales day. And all of those rates need to be calculated into the invoice to 4 decimal places to come out with the right insurance premium. Horses also get put on planes and they get sick, and MAF turns them around at the airport and says, sorry, it's not travelling today, so that needs to be credited. So there's a whole concept of the financial credits that need to take place. Quite interesting because we've now got an invoice and 4 people are paying for it, and now the horse is turned around, we've got a credit. So again, the idea within that to make that easy for the users to do. SDCA, we called it the SDCA, just was a developer thing, sales day counter application, but it seems to have immersified itself in Bloodstock as well. That's the application that Steve was showing you. That was the game changer, specifically. So I'm going to hand back over to Babu for a couple more minutes, and then we'll have some time for some questions.
Right. Thanks, Ivor. From a customer experience, it's a pretty mission-critical based environment for us. We do bring in a gen set just in case the whole of Auckland goes on without power, and we still need to sell horses, and we sell about 30 horses, and the sale has to go on. Working with real-time analytics, as what Ivor said, we use CRM and AX, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in terms of releasing sales results report to the press during the sales, at the end of the sale. Our directors need to know what's happening. Have we made money? Have we done much better than the previous sale? So working with real-time analytics, and I'm the one who will be giving all of those information to the relevant stakeholders during the sale. Customer management at racehorse speed, yep, that we always need to be on the nick of time in terms of getting the right information, the right time. And from working with CRM and AX has been it's been a unique experience for me, coming from working with different systems, especially with CRM and AX. They all kind of correlate with each other. And one of the biggest wins for us is the SDCA this year, which has been developed by Intergen. And right after we went live, we had a sale within less than 3 weeks, and that went pretty smoothly without any hiccups. I'm just going to touch base very quickly on data testing and how we went live, and all about Intergen again. The advanced find is pretty much a powerful tool for us in CRM, but I'm not just going to talk a lot about that. there are a lot of independent parts within the whole system which really made and was pretty much tough for us to test and make sure that we get the right results. And till today, we are still tweaking the system and getting the right results for in UAT. One of my favorite success stories here in this whole go live was it was one of the most seamless go live experience I've ever had. We turned off the system on Thursday, and Friday was a read-only mode. Intergen took over the system on Thursday night, and they started doing the whole data migration. Steve was working, Ivor was there, and on Saturday evening at 5 o'clock, had a text from Intergen saying that everything is done, system's over to you, and Sunday morning we went in, and everything was up and running live. And business was as usual on Monday, without any major issues. Again, AX is the single source of financial truth, and we work very closely with Microsoft and working with the user community, understanding what are the quick tips and tricks that we can gain out of the system. Again, I would like to thank the Intergen team for their wonderful support for us, and I know it was a bit tough coming and understanding all about horses and lots and and getting to know the system much better, and it's pretty much a smooth sailing thing for us now. Thank you.